In this episode of Anna Gare's Cab Fare, I meet Dhruv, a young driver from northern India. I learn an amazing tandoor trick that will transform your butter chicken, a recipe for a perfect fluffy fragrant rice, and later I'll meet Dhruv's family, roll up my sleeves and get my hands dirty.
Wow, well done.
That means I'm a good listener. No knives and forks. I'm Anna Gare. As a cook, I spend a lot of time getting in and out of cabs. I love meeting cab drivers from all around the world, collecting their recipes and then cooking it up for the whole family to enjoy. I'd love you to try one. Join me for Anna Gare's Cab Fare.
Anna?
Yeah, that's me.
Hop in.
I'm off to Caroline Springs Boulevard.
Sure.
Hi, so what's your name?
My name is Dhruv.
So how long have you been driving today?
You're my first trip for the day.
Hey, you're nice and fresh.
Yes.
And let me guess, you are originally from India?
India, that's right.
And when did you come to Australia?
I came here in 2006, so around 13 years ago.
And what part of India?
I'm from the north. It's
Right.
a small town called Kurukshetra.
Oh, wow. And what's the sort of traditional food in that area?
Mainly we have curries and rotis and naan breads. We use a lot of fresh produce.
And when did you come to Australia?
I was 18 when I moved to Australia.
Oh, just a baby.
I was just a baby. I came here to study. I studied my diploma in commercial cooking.
Ah.
But since I studied cooking, I've become a big foodie.
What's the food you miss from home the most?
It's the real butter chicken.
Oh, the real butter chicken. My kids love butter chicken.
It is. I don't get the real taste here.
Do you cook your own?
I cook my own, yes. I love cooking.
I love getting recipes off cab drivers.
Oh, nice.
And so I carry my little notebook around with me,
so
and whenever I get into a cab, I get a recipe. Would you share your butter chicken
Yeah,
recipe
sure.
with me?
It's your lucky day.
Because it's just not the same when you get it out of the jar.
That's right.
How does it compare cooking in the oven with, the coals?
It's pretty different, but I've got another hack for it.
Oh, cool.
So, gotta give it a nice charcoal taste. So how do we do it? We'll take a piece of charcoal, make it red burning hot over the stove. I'll make a little bulb out of silver foil and put 1 tablespoon of ghee or oil, whatever you have,
Yeah.
over the charcoal, and it's gonna smoke, yeah?
Ah,
And we gotta
nice.
cover it straight away, and then you'll feel the difference. It'll give you that smoky flavor, and you can even smell the
Smell the
charcoal
difference.
from the chicken.
How awesome. What a great little trick. I can't believe it. I got into a cab today and I got the best butter chicken recipe. Now, Dhruv told me that it's very important to have the right garam masala, so I'm going to make my own. I'll show you how. I'm using 2 teaspoons of coriander seeds and 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds. Now, we need to roast these off to bring out all the flavour. So garam masala is used a lot in Indian cuisine. I'm starting off with 6 little cardamom pods. Now, we need to get the pods off because we're just going to use the seeds, so I just give them a little bash. So we just remove the pods. Next up, I'm using 2 black cardamom, and that's going to impart a beautiful smoky flavour into my spice mix. And grinding your own spices is like making a fresh coffee from scratch. It's like instant coffee versus roasted beans. 6 cloves, a grating of nutmeg, a pinch of cinnamon, in with our coriander and cumin seeds. A little bit of salt helps to grind it fine, and away we go. So it's a combination of swirling around and pounding down to get a really nice, fine spice mix. I can smell all those beautiful spices in there. And that's done. We'll just put that aside. So for this butter chicken, I'm using chicken thighs. Really hard to overcook. They're very forgiving. They stay so tender. To start off with the marinade, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of this garam masala. Then I'm adding Kashmiri chili. So it's a little bit milder than your normal chili powder, and it has a lovely smoky flavour. A tablespoon of ginger, and almost a tablespoon of garlic. 1/3 cup of full cream yogurt. For best results, we marinate this overnight, but I don't have time for that, so I've got one I prepared earlier. Magic. Right, now we're just going to bake these, and then we just pop these into a 160 degrees oven. Now I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous butter chicken sauce from scratch, not out of the jar. Okay, so in goes a little bit of mustard seed oil. All delicious sauces start by frying onion and garlic. So in goes 1 onion, a few cloves of garlic, and we're just going to cook that down until it's lovely and caramelised and sweet. Just give that a little stir. That mustard oil is smelling magnificent. So now all we do is we add 4 diced tomatoes, 1 whole red chilli diced up, and 1 cup of water. And then we're going to let this cook down for about half an hour until all the tomato breaks down and we have this lovely sauce. Right, lid's on, and I can smell my chicken's ready. Yes, look at that, beautiful. Place this into a bowl, and this was Drew's hot tip. Normally they'd do the chicken in a tandoor oven, but of course I don't have a tandoor oven. And neither does Drew. So what he does is he gets some of this cold. All we do is we place it over the flame until it starts to smoke. And look at that, woohoo, it's starting already. Oh my gosh, it's smelling like a tandoor oven. All Drew does is he gets a little bit of foil. He pops the smoking little coal into a piece of foil, pops it in on top of the chicken, adds a little bit of mustard oil to make it smoke up. We've got to trap that smoke with a bit of foil. And this is going to give it a lovely smoky chicken flavour. Smells amazing. Back to our sauce. So we start again with a new fresh pan, and into the pan goes 100 grams of butter, and it is called butter chicken. So now we just fry off some fresh cumin seeds. Meanwhile, I'm just going to blitz this beautiful tomato sauce. And now we're going to put this gorgeous tomato sauce into the pan with the butter and cumin. 1 tablespoon of sugar, ground coriander, Kashmiri chilli. Drew's using tomato ketchup. Got a feeling that that might be a bit of an Aussie thing to do. Stir and let all those flavours mingle for about 10 minutes. 2 teaspoons of my homemade Garam Masala. Right, for that chicken, let's hope it's all smoky. So we'll remove this little guy, add the chicken to the sauce. And now to totally lush it out, we're going to add 1/2 cup of cream and some dried fenugreek. And that's going to give it that lovely, earthy, authentic flavour. And now it's ready to serve. So, Drew, how long have you been driving for 1-3 cabs?
Around 10 years, I'd say.
10 years is a long time in one job. You must love it.
I love my job, yes. I take pride in my job. Since I've moved to Australia, 1-3 cabs and taxis, they've given me a lot, so my thank you is not enough, actually. Yeah.
So do you ever drive any maxi taxis that pick up young people
Yes,
heading out?
actually, I own a maxi taxi.
Ah.
Mainly, I drive my maxi taxi on full-time basis. So when people see the big maxi taxi, the first thing I think comes in the mind is party. But party is not everything. But my normal routine, I pick up disabled kids going to special schools. Few years I'm picking them up. I've got a special bond with them.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, they like my family.
It must be such a rewarding job.
It is. It's rewarding. It's when someone says thank you for the service. It's the best gift we can get, you know?
Yeah.
It motivates me to do better than ever.
You're one of those lovely, selfless people that love to give and do things for people. And do you know what? That's why you're a foodie, because all of us foodies, we like to make people feel good. You know, with your butter chicken, would you serve it with a nice rice pilau? Or...
Yes, we serve it with the pilaf. We call it jeera pilaf.
Why would I serve up butter chicken with boring old normal rice? I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful pilau rice, lovely exotic Indian rice. Okay, so we start with an onion. We'll just peel the onion. So what we're actually going to do is fry off the onion and all the aromatics together and then add the rice and boil it. And it just makes it that much more special. So I like to thinly slice my onion. I'm doing it lengthways so I get nice little ribbons of caramelised onion in my rice. Okay, now we're just going to fry that off with some aromatics. So I'm just going to arc up the flame, and then I'm adding 2 tablespoons of ghee to my pot. Now, I've taught all my kids how to make rice successfully, and this is the never fail method. So ghee is actually clarified butter. And so what they do is they boil up the butter and all the water evaporates, and when it sets, you're left with all the fat on the top and all the milk solids on the bottom. So they've done that for us. Now, all we're going to do is melt that ghee down. And if I was making a normal rice, I'd just use a little bit of oil. This is going to be special. Now, we just add our onions to the ghee. Just give them a little stir. We're going to cook them down a little bit until they soften. And I'm going to add some cinnamon, a bay leaf, and some little cardamom pods. Now, you don't have to finely slice your onions. You could actually finely dice them. I've just finely sliced them because I like to have that texture in the rice. Right, now we're ready to add the rice. I'm using 2 cups of rice, basmati rice. In she goes. We just stir the rice to coat it with all that lovely ghee and the aromatics. And we just cook that off for about 2 minutes to cook off the starch. Now, the general rule of thumb with rice is you add double water to rice. So we've got 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of hot boiling water. In she goes. I add a lovely generous pinch of saffron, pinch of salt, give a little stir, make sure you bring her back to the boil, pop the lid on, reduce the heat down to really low, and we'll let her cook away for about 15 minutes. And my pilau is ready, just like that. Oh, smells amazing. I think I need to have a little taste tester of this before I take it to the Butter Chicken King's house. I'm just going to fluff up my rice a little bit now. So fantastic. Oh, you can smell the cinnamon. And you can see that every little individual rice grain is starring on its very own. They're all just separate little rice grains there, and that just makes it perfect. And now for the butter chicken. Oh, it smells so authentic. Ooh, homemade buttered chicken. It's never smelt so good. Right, I've got some naan bread here, so I'm just going to tear some of that up. And I'll be able to dip that in all that extra sauce at the end. And then just a little finishing touch. A little bit of mint. We'll just scatter them across to make it look nice and pretty. Who for? For me. Here goes the big taste test. Hope I've done you proud, Drew. It melts in your mouth. So, Drew, when you first came here, was it a real shock to the system coming into our culture over here from India?
I wouldn't say it was a shock, but it was different, but it was a good different. When I got here, and I loved the kindness of people and the way they're pretty welcoming. The first day, I started making new friends here, and I loved it, and I loved how Australia, they took me with their open arms, and they hugged me, and it was a good feeling. I never felt homesick.
And so you're married and have kids?
Yes, I'm married, and I've been married for around 5 years now, and we have a cute little daughter. She's 4, Zara.
Oh, it's a gorgeous age, 4. I always say
yeah.
you're out of the woods when they're 4 because they're a little bit more independent.
They are.
And does she like spice?
She's getting there. She's learning. I'm not pushing her to take the very hot spices, but she's learning. She'll get to the stage one day.
So in India, I know you have a lot of arranged marriages. Was your marriage arranged or did you choose your wife?
Look, I chose my wife, but it was a love come arranged marriage. I knew her. I spoke to my parents about her, and they liked her. I spoke to my wife's parents, and they liked me, and everything that started from there.
Sounds like you arranged it.
Yeah, I arranged it for myself.
Is she an amazing cook too?
She's a good cook, but I would say I'm the better one out of us.
Has anyone ever asked you if they can come over and cook for you for dinner? Because I would really like to cook the dish that you just taught me.
Okay.
And maybe make a few other dishes and bring them over
That would
to you.
be great. I would love to have come over my place and cook for me. That's nice.
That would be so awesome. I hope I do you proud. Thanks, Drew. That's
No worries,
amazing.
Anna. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, I can't wait to cook your
I
recipe.
can't wait to see you again.
Thanks, Drew. Bye-bye. So now we're going to add a bit of a crunch factor to our Indian feast, and I'm going to show you how to make my favourite salad. It's a tomato and cucumber chop salad. And the reason why I call it a chop salad is because we chop. We're just going to cube everything. So this will be a beautiful accompaniment to the buttered chicken. I mean, you can add all sorts of different ingredients to a chop salad. You could add a little bit of avocado and corn to this. It would be great for a Mexican feast. It's just so lovely and fresh, and everything goes into one bowl. So you can use any type of tomatoes for this dish. I'm using the beautiful vine-ripened tomatoes. They have so much flavour. But you can use Roma tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. You can get a medley mix and make it super colourful. Just keeping it nice and simple. Now I add a cucumber, so I'm using a little Lebanese cucumber. I'm using the skin, the seeds, the whole lot. I'll just lop off that little top. So basically I'm just going to cut that in half that way and then into nice thin slices. So we can chop into cubes. So we're going to finely dice this onion. So the best way to dice an onion is cut across like this. Don't take it all the way to the end because that's going to help hold it together. Now we're going to get nice fine dices. Right, that goes into the bowl and we're nearly there. So this is going to add gorgeous crunch factor to my Indian feast. This just needs to be simple and fresh to go with that lovely spicy curry. And now for a lemon to give it some zing. Catch those seeds in your fingers. And then some fresh coriander, one of my favourite herbs. So I'm just going to remove the roots and then I'm just going to finely chop the coriander, leaves and stems, all really flavoursome. And in it goes. Right, now all we need is a little bit of seasoning. So I've got a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and then a drizzle of oil to give it shine. Now we simply just stir it all together. It's just one of those salads that comes together in minutes. And that's it, my tomato and cucumber chop salad. Well, here we go. This is a little bit nerve-wracking. I've never actually cooked buttered chicken from scratch before, but I hope these guys like it.
Hi.
Thank you so much. I made it and I've made it.
I'm hungry already.
Looking forward to meeting your family. What a beautiful house.
Thank you.
Wow, it's incredible.
Thank you.
So this is your beautiful wife and your daughter. Ranu, I'm Anna. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me, and you must be Zara. You know, I've made all this beautiful food for you. Your daddy gave me his buttered chicken recipe. And you look gorgeous. I love your dress. It's beautiful. Well, I've cooked up a delicious Indian feast. Are you guys hungry? Well, normally in our house, we all just help ourselves. How do you serve the dinner?
In India, normally lady serves it.
Oh, OK. Well, I think that's you. You're the lady. And this is just a little cucumber, tomato and onion salad with a tad of coriander. I thought it would sort of complement the dish nicely. I was going to do a raita, but I thought this was creamy enough, so I thought something fresh would set it off.
Let's try. Can't wait to
Okay.
have it.
And this is your butter chicken. I hope I've done it justice. It tastes absolutely delicious to me. Such a beautiful recipe. It was so enjoyable
Thanks,
to
Anna.
cook. Thank you.
Traditionally, back home, we eat with our hands too. Why not we use hands today?
Actually, I love using hands.
So do I, and I'm always getting in trouble from my husband at restaurants, but I would love to learn how to do it the Indian, elegant way. That would be fantastic.
Let's start with the roti.
Okay.
Take a piece of the roti, make it like a spoon, like this, and just scoop in, yeah? There we go.
So what about without the roti?
You can make it like, you know, the mountain.
Yeah.
And then... No,
Same like
Shovel it in with
In the mouth.
your little thumb.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I've been a bit more ambitious. I went for a big bit of chicken, but here goes.
Wow, well done. See? You learn new things.
And so much more satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the spoon out of the roti's too easy. I like I like the challenge of the fingers.
By the way, Anna, this is delicious.
Does it taste authentic?
It is. It's just like me,
Really, just like your one?
just like mine.
Well, it is yours. So that's me, and that means I'm a good listener.
That's right. You can smell the spices too.
Oh, that's fantastic. I loved your hack of smoking the charcoal, and I didn't know whether it was going to work properly for me, but it was fantastic. And it really imparted that beautiful smokiness, and it does. It tastes like it has just been cooked over the coals
That's
a little
right.
bit. I think from now on I'm going to get my family, when we eat Indian, when we eat Drew's butter chicken,
Yeah.
no knives and forks.